So now, taking you back to 2004, no one knew what to do. The California Applicants attorneys formed an AMA Guides committee. Brad, Todd, and I are original founding members, and there are several other members who have steadfastly stood with us and CAAA. They have all contributed over the years to educating us and to also this eBook. AMA book is a guide. It's not necessarily always consistent. It's not always clear. And so we want you to understand that as a guide, when you read something that seems confusing or inconsistent, don't think you're crazy necessarily. It may, in fact, be. In 2007, I had an epiphany, and I went, wow, this is too much. So I like pearls, so I thought, hey, let's have a pearls. Let's make them bite-sized. Let's make them understandable. Suggestions. So I, along with the AMA committee, compiled the first edition of Pearls of the AMA. Since then, we have continued to do what Brad tells us to do, which is to read it and read it. And we have deepened our knowledge, and we've come together to produce an electronic book. This is how we're doing it in the eBook, where a pearl will pop out with the title, and then the entire pearl, say, use of METs to measure deconditioning, will be right at your fingertips. And all of the prior tips that we have written and refurbished, they're all in our eBook. There are over 113 pearls. There are links to medical resources. There are over 275 pages of content. There are updated practice tips.
So how do you get this book? I got to tell you, it's pretty cool. I downloaded it the other day. And it really is interactive. The videos come up, the podcasts are in there, all the tips are in there. It accesses PDF files. It really is quite a resource, 270-something pages. So how do you get it? Well, the first thing is you got to have an Apple product. You got to have an iPad or a Mac computer, and it does not work on iPhones. It has to be an iPad or a Mac computer. Okay, so once you've got that product, then you need a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, it won't work through your Verizon or AT&T or whatever, at least not very well. You need a Wi-Fi connection. Once you have your iPad or your Mac and a Wi-Fi connection, now you need the iBook application. And so you can go out, if you don't already have it on your device, you go out to the App Store and download the iBook application. Once you've got that, you go to the iBook store and you type in Pearls of the AMA Guides. And voila, it will appear. You touch it, click it, whatever, and at that point you'll have an opportunity to purchase it. It's the same price for everybody, and we don't get a piece of the pie.
So with that, I'd like to ask Todd to talk about digestion.
So, bacteria walks into the bar, and the bartender says, we don't serve your kind in here, you're bacteria. And he says, it's okay, I'm staff. Anyway, Chapter 6 covers the digestive system, and Table 6.3, page 121, lists whole person of impairment based on the upper gastrointestinal tract, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the pancreas. And so that's the section of the table you would use for esophageal reflux disease, GERD, peptic ulcers, hiatal hernias, and so forth. And you can also rate dysphagia, which is trouble with swallowing, which is a common risk factor, I'm told, for from anterior cervical disectomies and fusions. So don't forget Table 6.3. Table 6.4 covers disorders of the lower digestive system, the colon, the rectum, the anus. So you have ulcerative colitis, fecal incontinence, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease are examples, abscesses, fistulas, and fecal incontinence, as I mentioned. And there's also medication consequences that can be addressed with respect to this as well. The pearl here is, if you actually look at Table 6.3 on 121, the Class 2 criteria is separated by the word and, while the Class 3 criteria is separated by the word or. Therefore, the less ill patient can be rated in Class 3 but not in Class 2, which you should point that out to the doctors when they get confused over these classes.
So let's go back. You need an iPad or a Mac, you need a Wi-Fi, you need iBook. You go to the iBook store and you download Pearls of the AMA Guides. And it's fabulous, the interactivity that's associated with it.